Welcome to 2 cents short of a dollar, the show where win the best. I mean, no. The show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We're your hosts. That's Motiz, and I'm Rue. And if you haven't guessed it, today we're going to be talking about Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko as it's fight week, and we're super excited. Before we get going, thank all you guys for the support. We really appreciate it. We love the likes, comments. The engagement is awesome. We really appreciate it. But Mo, I mean, it's been exciting, right? Lomachenko's been doing his best to speak English, but Devin's really been carrying verbally. But the main takeaway for me is him calling Lomachenko a dirty fighter.
My best chance do dirty fight?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Never. Have you ever seen him fighting dirty?
Yes, I have.
Where?
All of your fights.
Which one?
All of your fights.
Which one?
Homie,
So where it was dirty? Where?
punching on the inside. When you say break, punch. Break, punch.
So how do you feel about that one?
I think like most people, I was confused when he mentioned Loma was a dirty fighter. I was like, Loma, dirty fighter? I was like, did you see his first championship bout? Right? Not to say, of course, if someone's fighting against another dirty fighter, they're not dirty, but I haven't seen anything from Loma's career that indicates he's a dirty fighter.
Yeah.
And I think he mentioned something that was quite interesting when he says, when you're fighting out the clinch and when the referee says break, you punch, right? And I think that goes towards Devin Haney's style, because Devin Haney is going to look to impose that tactic to clinch.
Yeah.
And I think deep down, he doesn't like the fact that Loma can fight out the clinch, right? So I don't know if it's mind games. I'm not sure if it's just a way of just him just trying to get underneath Loma's skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't agree with.
I read a funny comment. Somebody said he's trying to play mind games with a guy who can barely understand them, and it was so funny to me. But yeah, I do think he is trying to play mind games, but I think he's trying to plant a seed in the ref's head. So if the ref hears that, the ref may be more cognizant, even if it wasn't something. When someone keeps saying something, it's just like planted in your brain. So it's like, okay, now the ref's going to be looking for that. You know what I'm saying? But to the oldest boxing rule, protect yourself at all times. So if the ref says break, but you're not protecting yourself, that's really on you. That's your issue. You know what I'm saying? But as you mentioned, Loma is really good at fighting out the clinch. I've mentioned this before. He likes to put both arms up, kind of slip out, and then you're in a vulnerable spot if you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? And Devin does do a lot of jab, jab, hug. Jab, jab, hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jab, jab, grab. So I do think he's trying to up the advantage by having the ref look at this. I don't find that to be a dirty tactic at all. When I think dirty, I think headbutts, low blows,
Right.
possibly elbows, things of that nature. But fighting out of a clinch so I can get my hands free before you, I don't think that's dirty. In fact, a recent fight, right? David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Isn't that really what helped David win that fight and take over that fight? His ability to fight out of the clinch, you know what I'm saying, and just be first to those exchanges. I think that's part of boxing, you know what I'm saying? So I do think he's playing mind games, but maybe not so much with Lomachenko, but more so with the referee and trying to get them to kind of maybe a fight that he would like to fight, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too, because sometimes, especially now with the media, when you are a public figure and you make statements, everyone's listening. And then you can kind of get into people's brains about, maybe it is, or all the sanctioning bodies, everyone that's going to be there, the judges even, right? So that's a good point in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well, because even during the whole press conference, right, like you mentioned, Devin was carrying. It was really respectful between both fighters. Loma didn't really have much to say. Loma was just like, oh, well, even with the dirty comment, he was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Right?
Yeah.
That's how he feels. That's how he feels.
He was telling him to explain, and it seemed like Devin was struggling to really explain. It almost felt like he pulled that out of the air. Well, when the ref says break, you punch. Like when he was like, how? He's like, how dirty? How I'm dirty?
Like how? What specifically? And he kept just referring to that. Like when the ref break, it's like, okay, like
it does look like it did make Loma a bit upset though. Like, how dare you? But just in like culture wise, it's a culture thing. A lot of other cultures outside of American culture, like pride and respect,
they have honor.
Yeah, honor. That's the word I'm looking for. They have honor. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you shame someone's honor. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. You can see it in his eyes, and he's just like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna punish this little.
Yeah.
We're not getting the ring, and it makes it even better fight. Gives him a little spark, what I mean. So another takeaway that I've had, and I'm not sure if those comments fueled what Loma said next in regards to Loma stating that not Ryan. Loma stated that Devin Haney's jab is the equivalence of Ryan Garcia's left hook. Essentially stated, hey, if you guys know about it, right? If you guys know about the jab, of course I'm going to know about the jab, right?
Yeah.
And I'll leave the video here for you guys to see now.
Look, here, it's the same like Ryan Garcia has a left hook, but it doesn't work with guys who knows boxing. So the same, we understand it, we know it, but everything can happen during a fight. I don't know what happened, but if you know about his jab, I know about his jab too.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on what he said?
It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. And I do hear the notion of people saying he's calling Devin a one-dimensional fighter. I don't really think that's what he's doing, but I think he's saying that's his best attribute. So of course we're preparing for his best attribute and we're going to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? The difference though between Devin's jab and Ryan's left hook is I think Devin's just an overall better fighter. So he'll use it more strategically and he won't just be wildly. I mean, obviously a jab isn't as wild as a left hook regardless, just for the nature of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't think he's just going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over, but it is his best attribute. So it has to be something that you prep for, you game plan for, try to take it away. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm very interested to see what Loma does to take it away, because Loma said, if you know boxing, then like you can be prepared for this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very interested to see the game plan, because I think a jab is a hard thing to stop.
Absolutely, especially if you're talking about an individual who has one of the best jabs in boxing as of this point in time.
Right.
From what I took away from what Loma said, I do agree. He essentially, indicated that, that is his best attribute, like Ryan Garcia's left hook. And, if you know boxing and if you're a good fighter, essentially, you'll be able to take that away, or won't necessarily be as much of a problem as people think it is. Right. I am also of the same idea that how would you be able to take away such an active jab, right? Especially, when people work behind it so frequently and it's so active behind it. Like, how do you take that away? Maybe Loma has a game plan, right? With his counter punching ability. We will see. I am interested to see how he essentially, figures that part out. But in terms of what people are speculating behind those statements, right? Because that's what he said. Now, I do see why people are thinking Loma is referring to Devin Haney as a one-trick pony, because why would you compare Devin Haney's jab to Ryan Garcia's left hook? Yes, they're both phenomenal for their own respect, for the respective fighters, right? But we know Ryan Garcia has the left hook and is by far his best weapon, and meaning that the other skills in his toolbox doesn't necessarily equate to that left hook. So are you saying the same about Devin Haney? Like, his jab is by far his best attribute, and therefore the rest of his skill set is not really an issue? And if so, then you're essentially kind of saying he is somewhat of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
So I can see why the general public is jumping to that conclusion, but that's kind of a speculation based off of what he said, what he actually said. It's kind of reading between the lines, but we don't really know truly if that's what he meant, especially because he's not a good English language speaker. So
right. Let me ask you this though, and I don't know what your answer is going to be. It's all right if you're not even sure. It's just because I'm not sure right now without looking at footage. But outside of the jab, what's the next punch that you can kind of think of that Devin throws often?
Devin throws a jab a lot, but he also throws the cross a lot too.
The cross.
He throws the cross a lot. Sometimes he'll throw it in combination, like right before he throw a jab.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's always looking to pivot and throw. He don't really throw. He throw combinations in terms of like uppercuts and left hooks, but The cross, I would say, is
The right cross.
definitely. Yep, the right cross is definitely by far the second most used.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just trying to like envision it in my head. But what I'm trying to, even to go back to Loma saying, if you know the jab, then you'll have like a strategy to try and take it away. I'm trying to think in my head what the strategy would be. Would it be kind of high guard trying to get in his chest? Maybe take one to get in his chest where it's like, okay, it's kind of harder for you to throw the jab because I've eliminated that distance and I'm right here on you now. Or what would you try to do? You think to try to take the jab away?
And this could actually go into segue into, I guess, a question I was going to ask you as well, but I'll answer it first. So I guess to take away the jab, he would definitely have to get in the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be able to kind of have to slip, get in, and throw combinations to the body or to the head, or sidestep and get in there, right? So I guess the segues to my question to you is just based off of that, what do you think Loma needs to do in order to win this fight? And then I'll follow up with what Devin needs to do in order to win this fight, just based off what we've known about the two fighters thus far.
So for Lomachenko, I think he wants to press the action. I think he wants to walk Devin down if he wants to win the fight, right? I think he kind of needs to be on the front foot more than he's on the back foot. Of course, everyone in a fight does both, right? But I think he wants to move forward more than he moves backwards, right?
Right.
I think he wants to use those angles still. Devin Haney is very athletic, very swift. I do think he's going to be able to keep up for the most part, but I don't think he's fought someone who uses as many angles. So use those angles to kind of keep him guessing, kind of keep him off balance. Right. And let's see how Devin Haney looks when he's kind of scrambling, I heard some people saying they picking Devin by stoppage. I can't really see that just because Loma's taking some big punches and hasn't been stopped, i.e. Teofimo Lopez, round 12. Okay. But I would say don't overcommit because he's gotten stun knockdowns, right? Where he's kind of overcommitted and someone's boom, they've popped him real fast and he's fell. Never really been hurt to my knowledge, kind of hop right back up. But I would say don't overcommit, use the angles, fight on the front foot, and then try to eliminate the distance. Don't stand in the center of the ring because obviously he has the height, the reach. Don't make it a reach for reach fight. You got to get in on the inside and throw punches and bunches on the inside. So for Lomachenko, that's what I would do to try to win the fight. Would you want me to jump into Devin or you want to go?
Yeah, you could go. You go right into Devin. Yeah, what do you think Devin needs to do to win the fight?
Use his God-given gifts, his size, his length, keep using that jab, keep Loma at bay, don't let him inside, get Loma on the back foot where he is proven to not be as good as when he's comfortable, right? And then keep using the jab. Right. As much as I don't love it, I don't think any boxing fan really loves it. Jab, jab, grab. Don't let him get off. Jab, jab, grab. Don't
you gotta do it.
You know what I'm saying? And then, but out of the clinch, be first to the action. So in the break, maybe you hit first before he can hit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I think if he can make it a very clean, boring fight, I think Devin Haney has a good chance of winning this fight. What are your takeaways for both fighters to win?
I would say to start with Loma. Loma definitely needs to start early, right? Meaning his activity rate must be higher than in comparison towards his previous fights, Teofimo Lopez to be exact. Now he must be able to fight out of the clinch, right? As we've mentioned, right? He needs to be a dirty fighter.
Yeah.
He needs to be a dirty fighter, right? He needs to be able to fight out the clinch, right? He needs to be able to counter, getting inside, and as you mentioned, attack from different angles to overwhelm Devin Haney. Okay. Show Devin Haney different looks. Do not allow him to kind of get off, right? Be able to watch out for the jab and counter the jab as much as possible while getting in the inside. Now, for Devin Haney, I think Devin Haney's definitely going to have to, which I'm pretty sure he's going to do, he's going to have to work behind the jab, keep the distance. As you mentioned, of course, he's definitely going to have to make Loma fight on the back foot, right? As you mentioned, Loma is not a good fighter when he fights on the back foot. He's better when he's the aggressor and fighting forward. Also, Devin Haney's definitely going to have to use his defensive ability to be able to like turn Loma after combinations, right? When Loma's trying to use angles, just turn him, right? And keep that distance. Now, there's going to be moments in the fight where Loma do get in the inside, right? Be able to exchange with him, but clinch to disrupt his activity or just get up out of there. You know, that's
Mhm.
what I think both fighters need to do to be successful. So, my final question to you now is, I know we've made our, predictions in the past, but, just given things may have changed, right? This is closer to a 50-50 fight that we've seen in recent times. Who do you have winning?
I would go ahead and say I know I've been on the record with Devin Haney winning. Um, Everything I just said about Lomachenko, I think he really would have to, fight a 12-round fight like he fought like the 12th round versus Teofimo, where he kind of sold out a bit. I know Teo won that 12th round, but where Loma kind of just let his hands go. I would want to see more of that from him this fight, but he's such a disciplined guy. I don't really see him getting out of character in doing that. So that's going to lead me to pick Devin Haney in a split decision victory.
Okay. Okay. So you have it going 12 rounds. In my case, of course, it's a pretty hard prediction,
Mhm.
right? But just for consistency's sake, I think I'm going to go. And this is off the basis that both fighters come at their best,
Yeah.
right? Loma at his best, Devin Haney at his best, which makes it for an exciting fight. I'm going to go with Loma split decision.
Okay. So will you stay consistent? I'm sticking with Devin Haney. You're sticking with Vasily Lomachenko. Overall, just looking to see a really good fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be exciting. I think it's going to be more exciting than the Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight, right? So,
Gotcha.
sure.
This one's gonna be more of a chess match, which is how they've been marketing it anyway, as like a chess match.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, so who do you guys think will win? Do you have Devin Haney? Do you have Vasily Lomachenko? How do you think they'll win? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. We'll try to get to them. We'd love to read your opinions. Give some feedback, and we'll hear from you soon. Fight week, and I think this one was. I know I was excited about it last time. $59.99. So.
Yeah, it's much cheaper than
Yeah.
what Showtime had it as. So
Yeah.
and Bob Arum says he wants to reduce those prices. So
Yeah, keep it coming. So can't wait to see the fight. We'll check in with you guys after the fight. 2 cents short of $1, and we're out.